In the quiet village of Mbela, a man named Ndonko found a love so true it seemed woven from moonlight and morning dew. His wife, the beautiful Brenda, was his everything. Their joy doubled when she became pregnant, and at the same time Ndonko's own sister, Amaka, was also expecting. The village was alive with celebration, but fate, a silent and often cruel storyteller, had a different ending in mind. The night Brenda went into labor, her cries were a symphony of pain and struggle. She fought with all her might, but as her baby girl's first cry filled the air, Brenda's last breath escaped. Ndonko, who had been waiting with a heart full of hope, was handed his daughter. But moments later, the devastating news of his wife's death shattered his world. Pain, cold and sharp, pierced him. He looked at the tiny, wailing infant and turned away in a storm of grief. "Take her away," he roared, his voice cracking. "I will not see her. She has taken her mother's life." The villagers tried to comfort him, but his sorrow was a wall they couldn't breach. It was his sister, Amaka, who stepped forward, her own belly heavy with child. "Give her to me," she said, her voice firm but gentle. "I will raise her as my own." And so she took the baby, naming her Shira, which means the promised one. Amaka raised Shira alongside her own daughter Zita, treating them as twins. But as the years passed, grief began to twist Amaka's heart into a knot of bitterness. Ndonko, unable to bear the weight of his sorrow, eventually took his own life, and with that, Amaka's love for Shira curdled into resentment. She started seeing the little girl not as her niece, but as the curse that had stolen her brother. Life changed for Shira. While Zita ate the best parts of every meal, Amaka would gesture to the leftovers and tell Shira, "Eat what is left, if there is any." Shira grew thin and quiet. Her eyes held a deep sadness, yet her heart remained kind, and she never once complained. One night, under a moonless, starless sky, Amaka called to her. "Take this pot," she ordered, her voice like flint. "Go and fetch water from the river." Shira trembled. "But Mama, tonight is forbidden. The elders said no one should go to the river on a night like this." Amaka's eyes flashed with anger. "Are you deaf? Go, or you will sleep outside my house." With a heart pounding with fear, Shira grabbed a few leftover pieces of yam for the journey and made her way towards the river. The forest was eerily silent, the only sounds being the chirping of crickets and the rustle of dry leaves under her feet. As she reached the riverbank, she saw a figure sitting by the water. It was an old woman, her silver hair glowing faintly in the dim light. The woman turned slowly and spoke, her voice like the gentle flow of the river itself. "Child, will you share your food with me?" Though she was hungry, Shira smiled. "Yes, Mama. Let's share." They sat together, eating the small pieces of yam and talking softly. The old woman listened as Shira recounted her sad story of a mother she never knew, a father consumed by grief, and an aunt whose love had turned to cruelty. The old woman sighed deeply. "You have suffered, my child," she said, "but kindness never goes unseen." She then handed Shira a small, ornate cup filled with water that seemed to glow from within. "Take this, a gift from the river. Drink it or keep it, as you wish." Shira thought it might be a trick, but she smiled politely, thanked the old woman, and poured the glowing water into her large clay pot. When she returned home, she poured the contents of her pot into the family's large water tank. Exhausted, she whispered to herself, "If only this tank could fill itself, I could finally get some rest." In an instant, whoosh! Water began to gush from the tank, overflowing and splashing onto the floor. Startled, Shira slipped and fell, cutting her knee. But when she touched the wound, it vanished without a trace. Her eyes widened in disbelief. I'm healed?" That was the moment Shira knew. The water from the river had given her a power beyond all understanding. The very next morning, a wave of panic swept through Mbela. The prince was dying. The finest healers had tried and failed. The kingdom's oracles had spoken. Only the touch of one specific woman could save him, and that woman, whoever she was, would become the new queen. Women from every corner of the kingdom flocked to the palace, each hoping to be the one. They touched the prince's hand, one by one, but he remained motionless. Hope began to dwindle. Then a timid figure stepped forward from the crowd. It was Shira, dressed in her simple, worn-out clothes. The royal guards scoffed. "A girl in rags? Go home!" But the prince's mother, the queen, in her desperation, waved her forward. "Let her try," she pleaded. Shira approached the prince's bed and gently placed her hand on his forehead. Instantly, a brilliant golden light enveloped his body. He opened his eyes, healthy and whole again. The crowd gasped in unison. A moment of stunned silence was broken by a single shout. "She is the chosen one!" Drums began to thunder, and songs of celebration erupted throughout the kingdom. Shira, the girl who was once rejected, starved, and unloved, was crowned the Queen of Mbela. Later, when Amaka knelt before her, trembling with fear, Shira simply helped her to her feet and said, "Do not fear, Aunt. The gods do not punish. They only reveal the true heart of a person." From that day on, peace and prosperity returned to Mbela, and the river that was once a place of sorrow became known as the River of Blessings, a testament to the power of a kind and forgiving heart. Thank you so much for watching this story unfold. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more tales that touch the heart. We'll see you in the next video.